Hello. Welcome, everybody, to the follow-up for Get Ready by New Order. This is exceptionally late, but who cares, right? As long as they get done. This was filmed or released December 18th. So it's been like 3 weeks to a month since I listened to Get Ready, but my opinions have basically settled more or less over the last week or so. Solid album. Very solid. As far as New Order albums goes, it's one of the weaker ones, but as far as a 2000s alt rock or synth pop album goes, it's quite solid. I suppose we'll just go track by track on this thing. So the opener, obviously, Crystal, the music video that gave the Killers its name and influenced their, what was it, Somebody Like You, Someone Like You, Someone You Know. I don't remember the name of that song off of Hot Fuss. Basically created that band and that music video for them. Crystal, it's a great early 2000s synth rock track, has a great outro. Just a really solid single. As far as like New Order tracks go, it's obviously not one of their best, but it's just a pleasant track to listen to within that oeuvre of the early 2000s. 60 miles an hour. It's much more alt-rocky, has a rockier vibe, has that rockier bass, which is great, and has a really fantastic breakdown in there as well. Love those first two tracks. Turn My Way. It's grown on me a little bit. It's a nice subdued track. Corgan's vocals, Billy Corgan, his vocals are a welcome addition. They actually work fairly well. And there's a great breakdown around 3 minutes, 40 seconds in that I just really like with the synth and the bass in there. I love the way that not only Hook, which is, who's playing the bass right here, but even like Sumner or Gillian, who might be on Jillian. How do you say it? Gillian or Jillian? I don't know. Who might be on synth at the time. They have a way of breaking down the motifs or themes of their tracks or songs and kind of changing it for the outro a little bit. It's the same kind of motif and theme, but they're able to kind of highlight it and sort of, accent it and like, put it in the spotlight in a certain way. And Turn My Way is a good example of that around 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Vicious Streak. Fantastic borderline ambient track. A nice mix of synth and bass on that track. Really nice kind of connective sort of track. It's a kind of a lull, which goes well into Primitive Notion, which is much more alt-rocky. That's like prime 2000s New Order alt-rock. Very good guitar bass track. That goes unfortunately into Slow Jam, which I wish was cut. Is Yawn. It's basic chords. It's really slow moving. It just feels like a boring arena rock to me. I think it was used in some like Toyota commercials or something for the Super Bowl. I'm not sure. It was used in some commercials. But it just seems so phoned in and basic. And it's like, I could have written that song in 5 minutes. It's just, I don't know, skippable, completely skippable. 7, Rock the Shack. It's basically just a more rocky track 6. It's still boring. It's still phoned in. I think I was fine listening to it at the time, but like, I just never want to go back to that song again. It's whatever. Someone Like You. It's a more electronic tinge track. It works fine as kind of a connective track in the album. Close Range. It's a really solid deep cut, I think. It works as an acceptable kind of, has that breakbeat percussion in there with that alt rock tinge. I think it's solid and possibly underrated or overlooked. And then Run Wild, which is it's just more of that great acoustic New Order that you very rarely get. It sounds a little dated, but it does sound nice. It's very pleasant to listen to. So there's a few tracks on here that I don't love, mainly Slow Jam and Rock the Shack. I would possibly cut those 2 tracks, which would bring the album down by 8 minutes, and that would be perfectly acceptable to me. That'd bring it to 42 minutes. And then it would be like the perfect length, in my opinion. About 40 to 45 minutes is a good length for an album, in my opinion. and it would just tighten it up a lot more. It'd be only 8 tracks long, but a lot of these tracks are somewhat longer. They're 4 to 5 minutes. There's only one that dips below the 4-minute mark, but it is a solid 2000s effort from New Order. Definitely has tracks that I will come back to every now and then. But as a New Order fan, I will come back to way more tracks off of Low Life through Technique than I will anything off of Get Ready. Get Ready, if you're a New Order fan, Get Ready isn't going to necessarily be something you come back to unless you're okay with Republic or post-Republic, post-Technique New Order, which is like a different type of fandom, you know, as far as New Order goes. But solid. Don't love it, but solid. And I had a pleasant time listening to it. So that is my follow-up to Get Ready by New Order. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I will catch you around. Godspeed.